I'm Maddie.
And I'm Julia.
This is my sister.
And this is my sister.
And this is my couch. Welcome to my sister's couch.
All right, y'all. Let's lock in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to My Sister's Couch podcast.
One thing I am going to do this week is actually look into the camera and not at myself.
We're looking at you, Mom.
What are you having for to drink today?
For to drink today, I'm having a Cosmo, but I didn't have any lime juice, so it's a lemon Cosmo.
Ooh.
And what are you having for to drink?
I'm also having a lemon Cosmo.
What?
Cheers. Well, I have a funny Cosmo-related story.
Okay.
Which is, I was at a wedding this past weekend. My dear friend Lawson is
Congratulations, Lawson.
But she got married this past weekend, and she had a very beautiful wedding ceremony. Full bar, like any fun cocktail you want. And I saw one of her aunts order a Cosmo. She got like a couple, like for her sisters and like, you know, some other, you know, like a cousin or whatever, like in that age group. And I was like, oh my gosh, did you just order a Cosmo? I didn't know that was an option. And she was like, oh yeah. So I brought back Cosmos to all my friends, and it was a huge hit.
One thing about a Cosmo is once one person gets one, everybody gets one.
Yeah, it really, I saw Benny Drama and Mary Beth Barone doing a bit about Diet Coke when you're out to dinner, and like, if one person orders a Diet Coke, it kind of like opens the door for everybody.
If one person's like, I'm gonna get a soda, then everyone else is like, period, I'm getting a soda too.
And I feel like Cosmos are that way also, where like when one person gets one, everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah. So are espresso martinis though.
Yes.
That's like I think that's like the peak example.
Yeah.
Of like one person orders an espresso martini, then all the girlies are like, wait, I'm tired. Good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
But like Cosmos, I feel like Charlie XCX allegedly is like known for Cosmos being her drink.
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
There was this like meme that was like, oh, Charlie XCX is like bringing back Cosmos because they had their moment in the 90s during Sex and the City, like peak Sex and the City time. That was when they sort of became a drink. And they're like, oh, Charlie XCX is bringing back Cosmos, this, and that. I'm bringing back Cosmos, Charlie XCX. I have been drinking Cosmos. I've been drinking Cosmos. If you're a friend or family of mine,
you heard it here first.
You know that I will be drinking a Cosmo.
Maddie is more of a cultural setter than Charlie XCX.
Yes. If you would like a Cosmo, go get one, and you won't regret
your permission. If you're at home,
you probably have the ingredients. If you're like a casual drinker, you probably have like vodka.
I don't think I have cranberry juice.
Yeah,
but like it stays good in your fridge.
Yeah,
like forever.
Buy a jug of it.
That's my issue with dirty martinis is you always have to have olives, and they go bad in the jar if you don't eat them all, and like you use more juice than you use olives, and so like you just I have like multiple dried up cans of like nasty, probably moldy olives in my fridge right now.
Last weekend I was at a Halloween party and somebody brought pickles to do pickleback shots, which is an excellent shot.
That's a good party move.
Such a good party move. He brought whiskey and a jar of pickles and like for everyone to do pickleback shots. And I was like, that's
so fun.
So fun. And also pickleback shots are delicious.
I'm going to steal that.
You should. But what was so funny was then he left the party with a dry ass jar of pickles.
Some crusty ass pickles.
Some crusty pickles that like, I mean, I guess you could eat them, but they're probably going to be limp.
Do you think it would be better to like just eat
no,
a jar
don't
of
be
pickles?
Because if you brought the jar with like empty and it's just brine, that would be so suspicious.
You're right. You want to pop the seal.
Yeah, you want everyone to see that like you're opening it. If you just came with like a mysterious mason jar filled with like green liquid,
green
and
juice,
like, no, I promise,
and like some chunks.
Yeah, some like loose
you're right,
dill.
You're right. That would not be a classic.
That would be gross. Yeah.
Okay, I won't do that.
Okay, so what are we gonna talk about in this week's episode?
Okay. So for today, we're going to be talking about Dancing with the Stars. We're going to start by talking about Dancing with the Stars, and then we also have a little bit of a, like we're going to do our normal like takeaways, but we also have kind of like a fun topic to talk about, which is, we can get into. we then are going to talk about some shows. So Maddie wants to talk about a true crime show related to the Murdaughs. And then we're going to just talk about a little like social media, pop culture happenings. Mm-hmm. And that is what I'm calling the Benson Boonification of Sombr. And also just, I want to talk about Role Model and the song Sally. So, starting with Dancing with the Stars, maybe we can start with our 3 takeaways.
Okay.
And for context, we did a bye week again last week. So we're talking about Halloween, the Halloween episode, and then also this most recent episode, which was rock and roll theme.
Yes.
So what are your takeaways? Do you want to go back and forth?
Sure. So my first takeaway has to do with the Halloween episode, which is that there have been so many iconic Halloween dances. If you're a fan of Dancing with the Stars, you know that the Halloween night is like the night for sort of breakaway, iconic, quotable like dances. Yeah.
Very
Iman and Daniela, that's sort of the one that I think that like won an award. I think she won an Emmy for that. So like that was clearly, I mean, that's sort of like an echelon, like top Dancing with the Stars dance. But I also think about like Milo Manheim or whatever, when he was Whitney's partner. They did an insanely good Halloween dance. There are just so many examples of really, really cool Halloween dances. And this season is so, like, these dancers are so much better than seasons past. Like, it is so much more competitive. Yeah. And so I was expecting, like, many to come out. And, like, I think there was potential for some of them. And I just feel like a lot of them kind of fell short. And I was sad about that. Because I thought that there was going to be so many iconic Halloween dances coming out of it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of them fell short of the potential that they could have. Like, I thought Whitney and Mark's could have been, I mean, Whitney messed up, so, like, it just, they messed up. Whitney's had potential. I thought, like, Jordan and Ezra's is very controversial, but I see where they were trying.
I know, what did you think about the harness?
The thing is, like, I see what they were trying to do. I see the vision, and they were going for that, like, whoa moment. Yeah, like, they were going for, like, that.
It was a risky prop, though.
It was risky, and it didn't pay off. Mm-mm. And I just think, like, maybe Ezra, I don't want to, like, put the blame on him, but I'm like, I feel like he sort of dropped the ball on that week a little bit.
He did the formal apology.
He did, and he's so young. Like, this is only his second season, so I'm like, I totally get it. And, like, I think, sees the potential in Jordan, that he's like, this could be one of those iconic moments.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what he was trying for, and it just didn't hit.
Yeah.
By the way,
I think visually, though, that was the thing that's challenging, is because he's so tall and skinny and she's so short that, like, it's hard to do something like that and have it look normal.
But Daniela did, and she used that to her advantage.
I know, but I agree with you, but I'm saying, like, the harness was not the way to do it. Like, I don't think it emphasized, like, or played off of their size difference in a good way.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think
it just looked like he was swinging around a toddler.
Yeah. I just don't understand, like, this is my only note, because, like, I could literally never be a Dancing with the Stars pro. I could not choreograph. Like, I do not have the qualifications for any of this. However, I feel like Ezra is not leveraging the fact that Jordan is an Olympic gymnast to the extent that he could.
Well, the Tina dance, she was flipping all over.
He finally did. Yeah. And I literally texted my friend during it, like, oh, he's finally leveraging the fact that Jordan, and during the team dance, she was flipping all around.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let's leverage, like, even during the Halloween dance, I'm like, why are we not having her doing some, like, crazy bendy thing? Like, some creepy, like...
Why is she not backflipping off of your shoulder?
Like, yeah, like, some creepy, like, contortionist thing. Yeah. Like, she's supposed to be a mummy wrapped in, like, all this gauze and, like, the harness. Like, why are we not doing contortion? Like, there's so many opportunities to leverage the fact that she is, like, a peak athlete. And that's, I love Ezra and Jordan, so I'm not being critical, but that's just a thought I had.
Yeah. No, I agree. Following up on your takeaway, which was that, like, you were a little underwhelmed. Specifically Whitney and Mark's dance, I want to talk about, because as a former tap and jazz girly, I was a really big fan of the choreography. I do think it's interesting that Mark keeps choreographing things that are, like, really contingent on precise, like, synchronicity
with the music
and with each other, because that is not her strength. Mm-mm. We've seen multiple times now, even this past week with the Paso Doble, she, like, can't do it for some reason. And
she struggles with the synchronicity.
She struggles with the, like, sometimes with the timing and with the synchronicity, and, like, the costumes really exaggerated it, and, yeah, but I loved the choreography. I think if you maybe don't know what to look for, you would be like, oh, that's kind of boring, but, like, the Fosse of it all, there was, like, Derek called out the tap sequence, which I loved, yeah. So anyway, I really enjoyed that dance.
Yeah.
But I loved Alex's also.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best one of the night. But I agree with you. I feel like some kind of let me down. Like, I don't know. I thought Robert's was, like, meh.
Yeah.
I thought Dylan's was meh.
Yeah.
Jordan's was, like, weird.
Yeah. Did not hit. Yeah.
Honestly, Elaine's I would have loved to have seen.
I know. It looked good.
It looked really good. Oh, she's really getting, like, better, girl. Isn't she?
She is. And that sort of takes me to my next point, which is that...
This is one of your other takeaways.
Yes, this is my next takeaway, which is that some couples, the couples that I think are really standing out, are those that are actually improving. And I feel like some people that were early standouts, like Whitney and, like, Robert, are, like, sort of stagnating a little bit.
Totally agree.
Whereas, like, Alex and, like, Elaine, I'm like, oh, they're getting better every single week. And you can tell the two of them, like, have this insane work ethic that, like, their pros speak to. Like, Alan and Val have, like, nothing but good things to say about them as partners. And I'm like, I think it's because they're super competitive and they have this insane work ethic. Elaine, that's my girl. She's dealing with injury. As we all know, I've made it very clear she's my pick for winning. I love her. Alex is really good.
She's
really
good. Her Paso
Doble
Doble was the best dance.
So her Paso Doble was
of the
unreal. Season. Best dance of the season.
Flava Flav gave it a 9.
Flava Flav? Well, that's my point 3.
Okay, sorry.
So we'll save that. But, like, I just think it's been interesting to see certain couples. Like, I feel like Robert on night 1 blew me away.
Yeah.
Whitney has been consistently so good. And they're stagnating. I feel like a little bit they've sort of reached their peak. They sort of came out with,
they came out too hot.
They came out with, like, that was the best they had, and, like, they haven't really improved as much as some of the other couples, and those couples who have improved are standing out a lot more. Yeah. Even Dylan, and I'm sort of a Dylan hater, but, like, he is getting a lot better.
Okay, so we can talk about my points.
Okay.
And this will be a nice parlay, because you just brought up Dylan. I feel like every week it's gotten worse. And that is, like, just, like, this sexualization of Dylan Efron in a way that is very inappropriate to me. And, like, not to be that guy. Like, I feel like I'm almost coming across, like, meninist. But, like, imagine he was a woman.
No, you're right.
That would be crazy.
You're right.
And we were talking about this offline, but, like, you kind of mentioned that a lot of the choreography and, like, the costumes kind of are, like, ab-based or, like, really just sort of showcasing off him being hot. And yeah, it's just, I don't like, it makes me uncomfortable. I hope he's comfortable.
I hope he wants this.
If he's okay with it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I could see this sort of, like, spiraling and, like, snowballing week after week, and it sort of take, like, this whole thing, like, his abs as a character taking on a life of its own, and, like, him not really having the opportunity, because he seems very nice and quiet, and, like, not really, like, one to, like, speak, like, to push back on things. So I just hope that he's being comfortable, because I'm like, Bruno, like, come on.
Yeah.
Be appropriate.
Yeah. But, like, half of their dances are, like, his shirt getting ripped off and, like, him and Daniela, like, gyrating on each other.
A lot of ripping of shirts.
So.
I know.
I think that I totally agree with you. I do think it is sort of mutual, though, in the sense that, like, when you see his, like, social media presence.
Yeah, you're right.
He really leans into
the thirst traps.
The thirst traps, but not even just the thirst traps. Like, he makes content with, like, Ezra, and, like, the whole joke of it is that, like, Ezra is, like, thirsting over him, and, like, he's posting that online. So I'm like, I think this is part of his brand.
Yeah.
But I think it was the intro to the Halloween episode. It showed him, like, putting on the cloak. Because they, like, did this, like, clue thing. And then it was, like, who killed who with what. And he, like, alluded to his stint on the Traitors. He won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely forgot that he was on the Traitors and he won. I was like, oh, yeah, he's famous because abs and because Zac Efron.
Because surfing.
Because surfing and rock climbing. But I forgot that, like, oh, he actually, like, won a pretty competitive
reality
TV show. And, like, they just, like, haven't really talked about anything besides the fact that, like, he's super hot.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it's consensual, but, like, it definitely is a little egregious. And I'm like, it's losing the funniness. It's losing the charm for me.
Every time I'm like, okay, now we're getting weird. We're towing the line.
Yeah.
Let's not push it.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but even if someone's brand is, like, being hot, there is still a world in which it's being exploited in a way that's, like, not consensual or, like...
Yeah, when he goes up to the box and Julianne's like, congratulations, you just won, like, hottest tattoos of, like, 2025 or whatever. And he's like, ah. He's like, I thought we were going to talk about the dance.
Yeah,
but okay.
I just did a whole thing out there that I worked all week for.
All week, yeah. But...
yeah. So that's my one takeaway. I don't know if that's, like, what did you say? The wokest girl in the room?
It's like, I don't want to be that woke friend.
I am being that woke friend right now, I guess.
That's fair.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not super appropriate, if you ask me. Anyway, my next comment, I think you may disagree. It's time.
For Andy?
It's time for Andy to go
agree.
home. I thought Danielle should have had one more week. She would have been the next to go.
She was not improving.
No, it was time. It was her time as well. But, like, you guys, call to action. It's time.
I'm not taking that as a call to action.
Who else is gonna go home?
I think next, like, the thing is that, like, Andy's fandies, like, they're crazy.
Like, what if Andy wins? That would be insane.
He's not gonna win. He's not gonna win.
People are obsessed with him.
I think he's gonna go next, and this could be crazy. It's gonna be either Dylan, I think, or no, I think Whitney might go home. She's been in the bottom twice. I don't think people like her. She does not get a lot of votes, even though she's extremely good at dancing.
Even though she's probably the best dancer.
Yeah, even though she's for sure the best dancer.
Maybe I gotta be voting for Whitney.
If that's your conviction, then that's your conviction. I don't think it's personally, not to be this person, but she literally knows Whitney, pro Whitney, from childhood dance. That's unfair to me.
Yeah, but Charlie won.
We're not talking about Charlie. I'm talking about Whitney.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like it's unheard of.
I also thought it was unfair that Zendaya was on it, and JoJo Siwa, and Charlie. I don't think any of that is fair. If you're known for your dancing...
Christy Yamaguchi.
You should not be on Dancing with the Stars, in my opinion. If the reason you're famous is because you're a dancer. Yeah. That's my opinion. And, like, Whitney is not really the reason why she was famous, but, like, it kind of is. She went viral for the video of her dancing over her baby's body. She, like, knew all of these people from the dance world. Yeah. Like, it seems a little not like the point of the show.
Okay. No, I respect that opinion. This was not one of my takeaways, but, like, after the dedication dance, I just have to say, I think it's so interesting, the collective, what's the word?
Parasocial relationship.
The collective parasocial relationship that the entire United States has with the Irwin family. Like, we all feel so emotionally connected to the Irwins and, like, are so saddened by Robert's what's his name?
Yeah,
Robert's passing.
Steve. Robert is still alive.
Robert is still with us.
Wait, what? I think he was like Robert Irwin II.
Yeah, junior.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's a junior. But, like, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Everyone's weeping.
Including me.
Me too. I'm not. It was one of those things where I'm, like, so sad and so emotional. And, like, I get choked up thinking about it. And I'm like, I was, like, 6 and I never even watched the show.
It's also, like...
He's America's sweetheart.
Yeah. It's worth looking into.
Okay. And then my last take is a question.
Okay.
Is Mark hot?
It's such a good question.
The Pasta Doble, I was like...
I know, but, like, I thought the same thing, but then I was like, Maddie.
But I don't know.
Oh...
Just with some food for thought.
It's food for thought.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it?
After that long rant I went on about Dylan Efron and not sexualizing him and being respectful. I'm not gonna comment anymore, but just some interesting.
Hey, we need balance
Mark,
in the universe.
you're looking good out there. Respectfully.
Oh, here, I'll do something. On the reverse. Alex.
Oh, glam.
You looked so hot last week. The bangs, keep the bangs.
The glam was
The bangs
so good.
was so... You looked so hot. Loved your costume, hair, makeup.
Where do you get your spray tans?
Amazing.
I would like to know.
You looked amazing. And 10 out of 10.
Did you want to talk about Flava Flav? The Flava Flav
I mean, the Flava Flav of it all, it really speaks for itself. That was sort of my third takeaway, but honestly, like, we all know that it was totally...
That was crazy.
Unhinged. Like, he was going crazy. And, like... One thing in particular to point out that, like, could have been avoided, like, yes, he showed up probably intoxicated in some way. A little something. But what cracked me up was I was like, they didn't even go over how to put your vote in the iPad. Yeah. Carrie Ann's teaching him
mid show. No one
mid live show.
I love.
Y'all didn't show him how to do that before?
I love that every single time he couldn't find the paddle.
Yeah. Did not know.
Presumably they were in the same spot every time, but he couldn't find it.
The man had no idea where he was.
I also liked that the number one thing he was looking for was, like, timing and, like, being on beat. And so every time it would cut to him, he'd be like, the timing was excellent.
I love when he would be like, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, Flava Flav, nobody knows.
None of us know.
We all don't know what you mean.
I liked that. I was kind of curious, like, could no one else from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Clearly they could, because they had two of the bands there live, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah, but Flava Flav was, like, the most famous of them.
He was.
As a guy.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
But I'm like, they must have been booked and busy.
They must have been booked and busy. I'm like, they're not getting, like, Dolly Parton. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I presume Dancing with the Stars was working with not a huge budget.
Yeah. But they were able to book, like...
Oh my god, how excited are you for Tom Bergeron?
I'm very excited for Tom Bergeron. I feel like his voice is, like... If I close my eyes, it would feel like it was, like, 2009. And I was, like, at home.
He looks really good.
Great.
He must have not been very old.
Maybe he just had gray hair and we were like, he's elderly.
He's 70.
He was like 35.
He must have been like 40. Because I think only now is he like 65 or something.
He was an excellent host. And that kind of brings me to like maybe a fourth extra point, which is that I think Alfonso is an amazing host. I think he was born to do this. He has what it takes. Like, he keeps everyone on track.
He's got the riz.
He has, like, the charm. Like, he has that, like, old school, like, like, thing. He has it down.
The ballroom is on fire tonight.
Yes. Like, Alfonso, you were born to do this job. Julianne?
Yeah. She needs to take some classes.
Yeah.
Or, like, a coach.
Or, like, why aren't her questions pre-scripted?
Excellent question.
That's mostly my question.
She does appear to be riffing.
She appears to be making up the questions on the spot, and I think that would help her a lot, is if she just, like, pre-wrote out, like, some basic, like, questions.
Why is that even her job? That should be done for her.
That's a good point. Producers of Dancing with the Stars, maybe pre-write out some questions for her to ask.
Or maybe they have them and she goes rogue.
It's possible. It's possible.
Because sometimes she's just like...
When she's like, Whitney's like, oh, it was a horrible, awful week. This, like, alluding to, like, something bad happening. And she's like, so we heard it was a really tough week for you from, like, a mental health perspective. Like, what do you want to say about that? And Whitney's like, Speaking of Julianne, I am now friends, officially, with Derek Huff. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
So explain what happened.
And by friends, I mean mutuals.
Yeah, I would say you're mutuals.
And by mutuals, I mean we do not follow each other.
He didn't give you a follow?
I don't follow him either. But no, he did not follow me. Oh. So this is story time with Maddie. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, I posted a TikTok, follow me, Maddie7Mads, where I was sort of making fun of how Derek acts in the background of shots of Dancing with the Stars.
When Alfonso was talking.
So, obviously, if you've made it this far in the episode, I assume you watched the show. But Alfonso is, like, talking, saying, you know, giving whatever context. And in the background, Derek will, like, pop into frame and do a little thing.
Silly little
thing. Like, whatever, face it. Yeah. And so, I made a TikTok, sort of. It's all in good fun. I was just sort of being like...
it was not negative at all.
I was just saying Derek Huff in the background of Dancing with the Stars. And it was me sort of, like, popping into frame, like, doing random stuff. And I posted it, and then I went, and I was making dinner, doing my whole 9 yards. And at this point, I check my phone, notifications, 2 comments from Derek Huff on my video that has 800 likes, or 800 views, 30 likes. I'm like, what the heck? So the first comment he says, laughing emoji. Or no, the first comment he said is, honestly nailed it, heart emoji. I'm going to add the hand this week. Because in one of the videos I did like a hand on chin, like, situation. Very millennial of me, whatever. That was sort of the joke was, he's a millennial, whatever. He said, honestly nailed it. I'm going to add the hand this week. And I go, oh my goodness, hey king, heart emoji. Then he does another comment, like 2 separate comments. Before I responded, he does a second comment and says, laughing emoji. In the early seasons, we are talking seasons 5, 6, 7, when we used to go backstage in the Red Room, which I actually remember when they would do that. I would always do a little head whip. I did it to honor Scar from The Lion King when he said, be prepared. Super random, but it was something I did every show. Some caught on. This is a little nod to that. Winky face. And I was like, I think I commented back and I was like, no, like, never stop doing it. It's so funny, blah, blah. And he goes, look out for the hand on chin tomorrow night. And I was like, so now we're chatting in the comments. At this point,
I have a
we're
quick
chatting.
question about this. What do you mean he's honoring Scar from Lion King? He's like the worst character in cinema.
Yeah. I mean, like,
That's my guy.
Misunderstood
Shout
king.
out Scar.
Well, he only tried to kill one child. Whatever. Yeah. It's not that bad.
And his brother. It's fine.
Maybe he just was like, maybe it was like a Lion King theme night, and like that was how it started. Like he was dressed up like Scar. That's probably what it was. And
it's just funny to phrase it that way.
I know, it's funny. So I think I posted that on a Monday. So then he said, look out for the hand on chin tomorrow night. So I was like, what the heck? So now I'm like, is he really gonna do it? Like, this is crazy. And then after that, the video like started getting like more traction. But still, like, this doesn't have millions of views. Like, this had like, now I think it has like 100,000, but even back then it was like, oh, it had 5,000 views, something like that. So I'm like, there's no way he's gonna do it. And he did it.
King did it.
And he did it. King did it. If you want to go watch all of these videos, we will probably put them up here. But also you can go on my TikTok, Maddie7Mads with 3 S's. And yeah, he did the thing. And I made a video just responding to him doing the thing. And it was a very entertaining 24 hours of like, I mean, like, we've been watching Dancing with the Stars since we were young children.
Since the show started.
Since it started. That was like the one show that my parents like, we all liked, yeah. My parents liked it. We liked it, and Derek Huff's been on it the entire time. So I was very starstruck by it, and I just like, Derek, you have a fan for life. That was so cool. Like, that just was like awesome, and like even my family like group chat was like going crazy, and like my friends,
oh my God,
and like stuff.
Our college age cousin was like sent a video of us or of her and her like college roommates all sitting on a couch watching it, and like when he went in to do this, they were all like, ah!
And it just like, that was such an awesome and like cool way to like interact with a fan of the show, and it was cool for me, and I hope like people in my comment section were like, oh my God, girl, I was looking out to see if you did it and stuff like that, and like it just was awesome.
It was such a positive internet
experience. It was very rare, but it was awesome, and this is why I love the show. This is why I think wholesome interactions like this, completely pointless and fun, should be happening more in the world. I
agree.
So
I've seen some people being like haters of it, of him doing that, not of you, but like just of him doing that, being like, how Derek expects us to act like when he does that, like, ha ha ha, and all the comments are like so mean about like millennial, like making fun of her. They're like, it's giving senorita awesome.
Okay, but here's the thing. Y'all don't interact enough with theater kids. That's the problem, because this is canon for theater kid behavior.
Well, it was 20 years ago. I don't know what it's like now.
It's true.
No offense.
If you're a theater kid in high school, let us know.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how theater kids acted when we were kids as millennials, you know?
Yeah. Moving on
from Dancing with the Stars.
Going into the next piece, this is sort of a Beck's rec, which is the Murdaugh Murders documentary. It's on Amazon Prime / like HBO, whatever that duo situation is. Yeah. And
it's ongoing, hot off the press.
It's ongoing. I'm not even going to really describe what it's about, because if you don't know anything about the Murdaugh family, and if you weren't paying attention, or it was a very high profile case not that long ago, and as more things have been uncovered, it's just getting more and more crazy.
Yeah.
Just go watch the documentary. It's very good, and stuff. But I will say, the documentary starts with describing the very tragic passing of, like, a 19-year-old girl.
A young woman.
A young woman in a boat accident. It's very sad. And so they're sort of talking about the evening and talking about the night, and basically, like, they all went out for a night out, and they're on the boat and stuff like that. And this was in 2019, and there's just something about this is so tragic, and does not make light of the very horrible and horrifying situation that happened. But when you think about a crime documentary, like, I think about Ted Bundy, I think about Jeffrey Dahmer, Zodiac Killer, and you see the pictures of them, and it's like these grainy and these creepy glasses and a mustache, and like the guy looks like evil, you know what I'm saying? And it's this grainy footage. It's almost like otherworld, like it sort of takes you out of it, where you're like, that's another time that existed when we didn't exist. This was in 2019. We very much existed. I was 20 years old at the time. Julia was redacted. 23.
I was not 23 in 2019.
You're 3 years older than me. Yes, you were.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was 24 in 2020.
Yeah. So this was not long ago. And it was in peak Snapchat era. And so when it's showing, like, the last image of, like, this poor young woman, and it's, like, her and her boyfriend with the dog filter.
No.
And I'm like, thank God that my 2019 Snapchat selfies will never see the light of day. But I was like, the fact that this poor girl's last photos are her and her boyfriend, like with, like, a mango claw and, like, the dog filter being, like... And it made it both unserious and also so much more serious, because I was
so
like,
jarring.
This was just like yesterday, basically. And it just kind of cracked me up, and it made me feel relieved that hopefully my 2019 Snapchat moments never are seen in a documentary situation, but also never see the light of day in any other capacity.
Well, I think we made it.
Yeah.
Past you being murdered in 2019, which is good.
Barely.
We're about 6 years.
Barely. But also, like, it's just sort of a lesson for all, which is that, like, if you have, like, a really embarrassing digital footprint, that shit might go be blasted out to the world.
This is, like, scary. I don't like this.
No, it's not scary. It did.
Hey, that picture you took when you were 19 and dumb, like.
Well, now we're old.
That's gonna play at your funeral.
Now we're old, so they're just gonna put pictures of us, like, at, like, a wine tasting.
At, like, my wedding, probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I had a professional beat done.
Yeah. They'll probably just be me at your wedding, too.
Probably.
Yeah. And thank God for that. But it's also a really good documentary, so watch it if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I watched it also. It's sad.
It's sad, and it's also like, damn, we really live in a society.
It is really, we really do live in a society.
We really do.
I do enjoy that it's both a crime documentary, but also sort of an expose of, like, these southern towns where, like, one family owns, like, the entire infrastructure, both like governmental and, like, business, the private and public sector, and it's all sort of like one corrupt thing because of, like, it's just been owned by this one family for 50 years.
Yeah. It's honestly more of a case study of, like, humans are pretty fucked up, and, like, if you just allow a family that is, like, rich and powerful to just do whatever, this is what happens. And it's really sad because a lot of people lost their lives, a lot of people's lives got ruined, lost their life savings. Like, it's really messed up, but it's a good documentary.
Moving on. I'm gonna not talk about the show that I was gonna talk about because we're running out of time and it's not that important. I do have two kind of, like, social media based things that I wished to discuss. Mm-hmm. One of them, like I mentioned, is the Benson Boonification of Sombr. Mm-hmm. So I'll explain the situation. For those of you who don't know who Sombr is, which I also didn't really know, he's a very young artist. I think he's, like, 20. He has some very popular songs. I listened to some of them. They're, like, pretty good. And he's, like, a real musician, like, real artist. They're good. But he's very, very young. And so a couple of weeks ago, a TikTok came across my desk of a woman talking about her experience going to a Sombr concert. And she's a little bit older, younger than me, but like, you know, mid-20s. I think she was 25. I think that's a key detail because it comes into play later. Mm-hmm. But the TikTok went viral because she was kind of like criticizing her experience at this concert. She was saying that like it was full of primarily young teenagers with like a parent. And, you know, I think she was expecting more of like an adult concert going experience. And it was more of like, it was giving more like Olivia Rodrigo and less.
It was giving Jake Paul Team 10 live tour.
Yeah. And less like the 1975, which I think is what she was expecting. And so that was kind of on her, I feel. That like the demographic of people was like much younger than she was expecting because he himself is 20. That's very young. Like, think about One Direction. Like, all those guys were like 18, 19, and their fan base was like tweens.
Followed suit.
And teens.
Yeah.
Like, I, even as an 18-year-old at the time of One Direction's peak, was not like going to a One Direction concert. I thought it was for kids. Mm-hmm. Anyway. So, in addition to the, like, demographic of people being very young, it also was, like, a much more, like, interactive, riffing, like...
Crowd work.
Like, there was a lot of crowd work done at this concert in a way that I think this woman found to be, like, very cringe. Like, he was making a lot of inappropriate jokes, which I agree for, like, a young audience, maybe, like, kind of a weird move. And doing like 6'7" jokes and like, you know, all these like teenagers are like, yeah.
Which, by the way, like, teenagers, if you're 6'7"ing and doing whatever, period. But, like, I feel like as a society, people are often very critical of things that, like, teenage girls like. So this is not a criticism on that because, like, period, queens, like, go to your concert, 6'7", your little hearts away.
I still say... What are those?
What are those?
And that hasn't been cool for 15 years.
Right. Damn Daniel back at it again with the white vans. We make Vine references with the best of them. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like where it's weird is, like, the, like, sexualizing of it. Because I also saw this video that Julia is referring to. It also came across my desk. And when you watch the videos, they're not appropriate.
No.
In a way that, like, not to be like, well, in my day and age, but, like, One Direction, that shit was wholesome.
No, they were not asking the crowd to, like, and I quote, call them daddy.
Bark for me, he says at one point. I think what's so funny is, like, he clapped back at the girl's video.
Yes.
Are you going to talk about that?
I actually was unaware of the clap back until I did a little bit of research before this. So there was a whole back and forth, and... something he says, which relates to what I said, was, I totally respect people having opinions, he said, but I'm a 20-year-old artist. If you're 25 and come to my concert without expecting younger fans, that's a skill issue.
He thought he ate.
Like, that is such a 20-year-old person thing to say. Like, I remember when I was 20, I thought people who were 25 were, like, basically dead. I was like, if you're over the age of 21, like, you're a senior citizen.
I didn't think that people were dead when they were 25. I didn't even think of them. I didn't even know they existed.
That's so true.
I was like, either you're young, like me, or you're a parent. And they're, like, I didn't even recognize the fact that there was, like, many years of, like, in between. I didn't even consider them as, like, existing.
I remember one time... I went to a club. I was 25 at the time. I was with my girlfriends from college, and we were at a club table in Vegas, and they seat these young women with us at the table, and, like, we can clock right away. Like, these girls are probably in college, and if not, like, right out of college. And they're like, oh, hey, girl. Like, whatever. We're, like, talking with them, and they're like, oh, like, where do you go? And we're like, oh, we're like 25. And they're like, oh, my God, like, you look so good for 25. We're like, thanks.
That's like a sneak diss.
So, but, like, I think they genuinely meant it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're
old.
You're like my grandma's age.
It was like, I knew, because like our mom got married when she was 27. In my head, I was like, you get married when you're 27.
Yeah.
Everything in between, like being 21 and being 27, and like that's
a
when you
lost
become an
year.
adult. I didn't even think that like those years existed. I don't even know what the heck I thought you were supposed to do. I still don't, by the way. As I'm in them, I don't even know what's going on.
I don't think you're alone in thinking that. I think that's sort of the plight of people in their 20s is we're kind of like, what are we supposed to do?
They are sort of lost years in the
Yeah.
sense of like you're sort of paralyzed between what you think you should be doing, what you're actually doing, what you want to be doing, and instead you just end up like
doing
something.
People do different stuff too.
I know. People do
Think about that.
Some people go to school.
Yeah.
Some people run a marathon. Some people take an elaborate vacation to Japan.
You know what? Of all the crash outs, I've not done the Japan one, and I would like to.
I am more likely to do the Japan crash out than the marathon crash out. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You already did the grad school and the marathon.
Well, I didn't actually run it, but I did sign up for it and pay for it and train for it. And I did do the getting married one.
Yeah.
And the grad school.
You did.
Did you say that
I said grad school, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So I just gotta check off. We should do a Japan crash out.
I know.
Maybe next year.
I would love to go to Japan.
I gotta save up, like, a lot of money.
Yeah. But it's more so actually the PTO.
Well, that
it takes
too.
so long to get there.
Anyway, I just thought that was sort of an interesting internet beef and sort of a concert going experience that I have not experienced, don't care to, but it's pretty funny idea to think you're going to like some sort of like indie like hipster concert and it's like just preteens and their dads.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
But like maybe you should have Googled it because there's a lot of clips of it and like
it's a lot of people who are in their mid-20s being like take a shot for every time there's like a 6-7
because the music is like mature. Anyway, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing is like really stupid and short, but I've been seeing a lot of Sally with the wine runs out clips. Mm-hmm. You know how he brings out someone during that song?
So I did not know he did that.
Okay, I'm going to play you a compilation.
Okay.
And I'm going to also insert it.
It's One Less Lonely Girl-esque.
It is exactly One Less Lonely Girl.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I was in 8th grade and I saw the Belief tour live.
And you shaved your whole body in preparation.
Shaved my whole body. Literally was wearing a homemade, painted with marker and, like, tied at the base braces, Shirley Lululemon headband, because that was definitely going to seduce Justin.
Yeah.
And
I heard he loves those.
I did.
Who was the One Less Lonely Girl? Like, do you remember it?
Yeah.
Like young?
Yeah. She was, like, very much, like,
younger
14.
than him.
Yeah. That was part of the appeal, was that, like, he's not picking, like, also 19-year-olds.
This is another great example.
Young women that, like, so that way me with my full shaved body and my Lululemon headband thought that, like
if you were 25 and you went to a One Direction concert in 2010, whenever this was, that's on you.
Yeah.
But people weren't doing that. So I don't know why people thought, like, maybe they just thought he was older.
He looks very gaunt, so it's sort of hard to tell how old he is, because he's sort of just...
He looks like the guy from Stranger Things. Well, that was another piece of the clapback, was he said she was body shaming him.
Well, he should eat, like, some chicken parm or something.
It's because he hasn't hit puberty yet. Okay, back to Sally when the wine runs out. So when they play that song, he brings up someone.
A Sally,
a One Less Lonely Girl style. And if there's a famous person there, it's usually, like, the famous person that will come out. And so there are a bunch of, like, compilations. This one is our top 5 Sallys. The first one is Conan Gray. They kiss on the lips.
Oh my god!
Natalie Portman. She's so cute.
Oh my god, do they kiss?
No.
Oh.
They just hugged. I don't think you have to kiss.
Oh.
I think that was a...
Oh my god, Kate Hudson. I want them to kiss. She's so pretty.
I know, isn't that so fun?
That's my girl.
Olivia Rodrigo. And so the Sally comes up and they just kind of dance. And it's such a fun song.
I love that song so much.
Anima. I don't know who that is. Should I know?
No, I don't know who that is.
Maybe we're unk for that.
Yeah, we're unk for that.
Anyway, so I just really want to be Sally. I gotta go to a concert, I guess.
Yeah.
But then what if someone's famous there?
Then you're screwed. Yeah. I will say, I love that. It's very much One Less Lonely Girl-esque, but it's also Sabrina Carpenter-esque, how she, like, arrests one person in the audience. And this actually brings me to a point that I wanted to make on the pod, and I completely forgot about it until right now, which was that at Sabrina's, I don't know what show it was at. She's on tour, so it was one of her shows. She arrested Anne Hathaway.
And, I saw this.
Yes, I sent it to Julia because we love Anne Hathaway.
We do.
And she's so beautiful. And Sabrina introduces herself, and this is a little bit Maddie's marketing corner, dare I say, because Sabrina introduces her as, like, Mia Thermopolis, Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia. And I was like, this is genius marketing, because this is experiential marketing done right, because all these young women who are at Sabrina Carpenter concerts don't know what the Princess Diary is, because they were not born yet when it was poppin'. And Princess Diaries 3 is coming out in 2026. That is such good marketing, because now all of these like 15, 14, 12, 13-year-old girls who are Sabrina Carpenter fans now are like, what is this? And now there's a new... Who is this?
Anne Hathaway.
Who is Mia Thermopolis, Princess of Rinaldi? Yeah. And surely they go into Disney Plus. Surely they go into Disney Plus and watch the best movie ever made, and then they go to the theaters and watch Princess Diaries 3.
Was that on one of your tops? Was that one of your top 5s? Princess Diaries?
No, it wasn't, but if
close.
If I were to pick, I would pick Princess Diaries 2, actually, because I love the Chris Pine of it all.
I concur.
I love that movie.
It's a good one. Maybe we should do a whole episode that's called like our favorite second movies.
Yeah, we should. Okay, maybe next episode.
For the Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe if you want us to have a Patreon,
or if you want us to talk about anything, let us know, because we'll do anything.
We literally, if you are like, actually we don't want to hear you talk about Dancing with the Stars anymore, we only want to hear you talk about like some dumb stuff you found on the internet, like tell us.
Or if you're like, we don't want you to talk about dumb stuff on the internet, we only want you to talk about like movies and like nostalgia stuff, we'll do anything. So
we're open to feedback, unless it's about our physical appearance.
Yes. Or our personalities.
In that case, we are not accepting.
We are not accepting
comments at this time.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Hope you guys had a great week, and don't forget to like this. Give us a rate on Spotify.
What should they put in the comments?
Put in the comments if you have any second movies or books that you think are better than the first, and be sure to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
And that's it. Bye.